So we will go ahead and get started. Find a nice comfortable seat. I'm sitting in Sukhasana, also called easy pose, simple cross-legged posture. Draw the navel in towards your spine to engage your abdominal muscles. Let the crown of the head reach towards the ceiling to create that length in the spine. And then bring the shoulder blades together and down your back and place the hands on the thighs, palms down, and close your eyes. Start to become aware of your breath. Allow that breath to flow in through the nose and out through the nose. Starting to bring the awareness inward, tuning out any distractions like noises from another part of the house or thoughts running through your head. Start to bring the breath into balance by making the inhale the same length as the exhale. So if you inhale for a count of 4, you would exhale for a count of 4. If you inhale for a count of 6, you would exhale for a count of 6, and so on. So your rate of breathing could be different from everyone else, and that's perfectly fine. With each inhale, let the spine grow tall. And as you exhale, keep the length in the spine, but just begin to soften a bit. So relax the shoulders away from the ears. Let the jaw relax. Let the knees just gravitate towards the floor. As you sit and breathe, I'm going to just talk a little bit about gratitude. So when we first found out about schools being shut down and things like that, my immediate reaction was gratitude. I immediately thought of all of the things that I had going good for me. I had a loved one that had just had a medical procedure, so I was grateful that that person got to get that over with. My family had just come back from vacation, so I was grateful that we at least had just had a vacation. But then as the weeks have gone on, I find myself forgetting all of that and sort of taking on the anxiety of the situation. So I'm reaching for my gratitude journal, writing in it, rereading it, and I'd like to read a quote to you today regarding gratitude, and this is by Melody Batty. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. So just take a few moments to think about that. If you are struggling with panic or anxiety or anything like that, feelings of sadness, see if you can think of just one thing that you're grateful for. Gratitude is a practice. It's a way of looking at the world. And just like with any practice, the more we do it, the more natural it becomes. So I do keep the little gratitude journal next to my bed, and just when I think about it, I grab it, I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. So I encourage you to adopt that practice if you think it might be helpful. So let's bring those hands together at the heart in Anjali Mudra, prayer position. Just gently relax the elbows. Thumbs can gently press against the chest. We'll breathe together 3 times, and on the 3rd exhale, we'll share the sound of Om. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose. exhale through the nose. Inhale and exhale. And for the third time together, inhale. Bow your head. Place the hands on the thighs. Softly open your eyes, looking forward. So I know I've been mentioning about breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And with allergy season here, if your nose does get stuffy, don't force it. Use your mouth instead. So we're going to start today sitting in Dandasana, or staff pose. So to do that, we extend the legs out nice and long, and we reach through the heels. Be sure to pull the flesh away from the sit bones so that you're feeling really rooted to the earth. Your hands are by your sides, and you're not really using the arms to hold yourself up. You're just resting the arms by your sides. Take a breath in here, and as you exhale, begin to turn the head to look to the left. As you inhale, come back to center. And then as you exhale, begin to turn the head to look to the right. Inhale, back to center. Do 3 more on each side, moving with your breath at your own pace. When you finish, you can just bring the head back to neutral. No need to rush here, we'll wait for you. Now take a breath in, press down through the sit bones, grow tall. As you exhale, lower that left ear towards the left shoulder, feeling the stretch in the right side of the neck. Inhale, come back up. As you exhale, begin to lower the right ear towards the right shoulder. Inhale, back up. Again, 3 more on each side, on your own. And when you finish, again, you'll bring that head and neck back to neutral. So we're still sitting in Dandasana. Feet are flexed, legs are active. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, begin to point your toes, stretching the tops of the feet. Inhale, pull the toes back in towards the body, flexing the feet, stretching those calves. Exhale, point the toes. Inhale, flex the feet. One more time. Point and flex. Bend both knees, placing the soles of the feet on the mat, and then let the soles of the feet come together as the knees open up out to the sides for Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. If you have really tight hips, you may find your knees are kind of up in the air, and that's perfectly fine. Everyone's body is different. If you have more flexible hips, your knees might be closer to the ground. Hold on to the ankles. Breathe here. So you can stay just like this or move into a forward bend. To do that, press down through the sit bones. Inhale, grow tall. As you exhale, you'll hinge forward at the hips. So you're not bending the back. You're just hinging from the hips. And I like to tell my students, lead with the chest, not with the head. Only go as far as is comfortable for you. And then with the inhale, create length in the spine. And with the exhale, maybe you can tip a little further. Slowly bring yourself back up. We'll come to Sukhasana, simple cross-legged posture, being sure to adjust those sit bones as needed. As you inhale, arms reach up. And then as you exhale again, we're hinging from the hips, leading with the chest. When you feel like your back wants to start rounding, just bring your hands down to the ground. Then as you inhale, create length in your spine. And as you exhale, fold forward. Now, if you have any issues with your low back, take it easy here. We don't need to really go to our furthest extent of the pose. We're just warming up. So inhale, we create length, and then exhale, hinge. Slowly walk your hands back towards the body, and now we'll switch the cross of the legs. Feels a little funny at first. Readjust the sit bones. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge. When you feel like you can't go any further, hands come down to the ground. Then inhale, create length in the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, create length. Exhale, fold. I'm just going to come up and do that from the side real quick so you can see my back. So we inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge. So I get about here, and then I can't really go any further unless I bend my back. So I'm going to bring the hands to the ground. Then inhale, create length. Exhale, hinge. Slowly walk the hands back towards the body, coming back to Sukhasana. Extend the legs out nice and long, coming back to Dandasana, staff pose. Bend the left knee, placing the sole of the foot on the mat. Let that left knee open up out to the left. If you have a strap, you can place it around the ball of the right foot and hold on to it. If you don't have a strap, you'll move with me. As you inhale, arms reach up. And as you exhale, all of us will hinge forward again, hinging from those hips, leading with the chest. When we get to the point where we can't go anymore, our hands can come down to either the leg or the toes, the thigh, wherever is fine. With each inhale, create length in the spine, and with the exhale, perhaps you can hinge a little further. Slowly come back up. Extend the left leg long to meet the right, and then bend the right knee. Sole of the foot comes to the mat. Let that right knee open up out to the side as the sole of the foot is at the inner thigh of that left leg. You can place the strap around the ball of the foot or follow me. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge. With the inhale, create length in the spine, and with the exhale, fold forward. Slowly walk the hands back up towards the body. Extend the right leg long to meet the left, back to Dandasana. Go ahead and close your eyes here. Come back to the balanced breath if that's gotten away from you. One of my favorite quotes regarding gratitude comes from Tony Robbins. And he says, trade expectation for appreciation and your world changes in an instant. And it's really true. As we're going through our days, we don't have all the specific foods we normally like, or we may be low on paper towels, and we can get a little upset about that. But if we really trade our expectation for appreciation, we realize how blessed we really are. And not only are we blessed, but many of us actually have excess and could learn to share that with a neighbor, a friend, someone else who might need it. Let's come to all fours, hands and knees. I'm using a thick foam pad under my knees because my knees don't like a hard floor. We come to all fours. The knees are just hip width apart. They're slightly behind the hips. Hands shoulder width apart, slightly forward of the shoulders. Fingers spread nice and wide, pressing down through the fingertip or the fingers in the perimeter of the palms. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, shift your hips to your heels, your chest to your thighs, elbows up off the mat for extended child's pose. As you inhale, come back up, all fours. Exhale, back to child's pose. Inhale up, all fours. Continue moving with your breath here. Exhaling back to child's pose. Inhaling up, all fours. The next time you come to all fours, pause there. From here, you're going to step your right foot forward between the hands, and you can pick the foot up and move it. Then as you inhale, the arms sweep up as the hips shift forward. So notice here, my knee is not jutting out past my ankle. If your knee goes out past the ankle, just take your foot forward. I'm shifting those hips forward because I want to stretch the front of my left hip here. Arms can reach up towards the ceiling, or you can place the hands on the hips. Lower both hands to the inside of the right foot. Press your right knee into your right shoulder into the knee. And then sweep that left arm up towards the sky, stacking the shoulders, opening the chest, remembering to breathe. Lower the left hand down to the ground. Begin to twist to the right as the right arm reaches towards the ceiling. Try not to let that right knee wing out here. Lower the right hand to the outside of the right foot, and then shift those hips back, straightening the right leg. The toes can come up and hinge forward. Shift those hips forward once again. Step your right knee back to meet the left. Take a moment to shift back to child's pose. Inhale up, all fours. Step that left foot forward between the hands. As you inhale, arms sweep up as those hips shift forward, this time stretching the front of the right hip. Hands could come to the hips for a more gentle option. Lower both hands to the inside of that left foot. Press the left knee into the shoulder, shoulder into the knee, and then sweep the right arm up towards the sky. Stack the shoulders, open the chest, and breathe. Lower the right hand down to the mat, and then begin to twist to the left as you reach the left fingertips to the sky. Lower the left hand to the mat. Shift those hips back, straightening the left leg and hinging forward. Shift the hips forward once again. Step that left knee back to meet the right. Take a moment, shift back to child's pose and rest. So when you rest in child's pose, you can cross the forearms in front of you and rest the forehead. You could bring your arms back by your legs, whatever feels truly restful. Now is the time to come back to that balanced breath, flowing in through the nose and out through the nose. Bring yourself back up to all fours, hands and knees. From here, we're going to move into downward facing dog. So from all fours, curl the toes under. Start to shift the hips towards the heels. The knees lift just a little bit as you press back through those heels. We don't necessarily need straight legs in down dog. More importantly, we need a long spine. So to create that, bend both knees, keep them bent, and shift the hips to the back of the room where the wall meets the ceiling. Then, only straighten your legs as much as you can without shifting your weight forward again. Relax the heels towards the mat. Relax the head and neck. Start to bend those knees, go back down into child's pose. And then as you inhale, come back up all fours, and we'll do that again. Curl those toes under. Start to shift the hips towards the heels. Knees lift as you press back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Once again, bend those knees. Go back down into child's pose. As you inhale, come back up all fours. One more time. Shift back, downward facing dog. Start to walk your feet forward towards your hands. Coming to Uttanasana, forward fold. The knees could be bent here. That helps you to get the hands to the floor. You could even place something under your hands to bring the floor closer to you. Relax your head and neck. Press down through your feet. Your arms start to lift. Once they're in line with the ears, use that core. Bring yourself all the way up and exhale, hands to heart, coming to Tadasana, mountain pose. From here, we're going to move into tree pose, Vrikshasana. Tree pose is a balanced posture, but it's also a hip opener. Keep your knees soft. Begin to shift your weight to that left foot and really let the weight sink into the four corners of the feet so that you feel like you've grown roots deep into the earth. The right foot becomes light. You can press that foot right against the ankle like a little kickstand, the calf, or the upper inner thigh. You just don't want to press the foot against your knee. So you're pushing your foot into your leg, pushing your leg into your foot. Find a gazing point, something not moving. Just let the gaze become soft. Watch your breath. If you feel stable here, as you inhale, arms reach up, and then those tree branches can grow. So I don't want you to adjust your leg when I tell you the next thing, but see how my leg points out to the side. I have looser hips, I have flexible hips. If you have tighter hips, your knee might be pointing more towards the front, and that's okay. It gives you something to work towards. Bring those hands back together, down in front of your heart. Lower the right foot, shake the legs out. Come back to Tadasana, mountain pose. Knees are soft. Begin to shift the weight to the right foot. Deep roots. Left foot becomes light. You can press that foot against the ankle, the calf, or the upper inner thigh. We're skipping the knee. Push that foot into the leg. Push the leg into the foot. Find your gazing point. Watch your breath. Try to keep a really nice tall spine here as well. As you inhale, arms reach up, and those tree branches can grow. If you're near a wall, no problem to hold on to the wall here. And all of the wobbling around is actually really good for you. It actually helps your brain to communicate with your muscles. Hands come back together, down in front of your heart. Lower that left foot, shake out the legs. So we're going to come to a nice wide stance on the mat. There is no exact amount of distance the feet should be apart, but we'll figure that out as we move along. So come up on the heel of that left foot. Turn the toes in slightly. Come up on the heel of the right foot. Toes turn out 90 degrees. Gaze down at the feet. For the most part, that heel should be intersecting with the arch. Arms come parallel to the mat. Gaze out over the right fingertips. Begin to reach the right fingertips towards the space to the right. And then as you exhale, begin to tip to your right for Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. Here, your right hand could be on your thigh, your calf, the floor. But if the left shoulder starts to turn towards the floor, probably means you've gone down too far. Bring yourself up a little bit, stack those shoulders. Focus on your breath here. Press down through the feet. Use that left hand to bring yourself back up. Gaze out over the right fingertips. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, let the right knee bend. So notice the knee does not go out past my ankle here. This is Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Bend your right elbow. The fingertips point towards me. As you exhale, begin to tip to the right, forearm to the thigh. The left arm can slide so that the bicep is right over the ear. But again, if that left shoulder starts to come towards the floor, it's better to place the hand on the hip so that you can get those nice stacked shoulders. Press down through the feet. Use that left hand to bring yourself back up to Warrior 2. As you inhale, straighten the right leg. Exhale, lower those arms. Bring the feet back to parallel. As you inhale, arms reach up. And then as you exhale, hinge forward, Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. So today I can get my head on the floor, but the other day I couldn't. So every time you practice is brand new. It's always different. You can place the hands on the hips, press down through the feet to bring yourself back up. Now we'll come up on the heel of that right foot. Toes turn in slightly. Come up on the heel of the left foot. Toes turn out 90 degrees. So my legs are much farther apart now than they were when I did the other side, because I figured out by doing the other side how far apart my feet should be. So I'll make sure to point that out better this time. Arms come parallel to the ground. Take a breath in. As you exhale, begin to tip to your left. Utthita Trikonasana. Press down through the feet. Use that right hand to bring yourself back up. Gaze out over the left fingertips. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bend the left knee. So this is how I knew how far apart my feet should be. When I bend my left knee, it's not jutting out past my ankle, okay? Bend the left elbow. And as you exhale, begin to tip to the left. The right arm can slide right over, so the bicep is right over the ear, or you can place the hand on the hip. Press down through those feet. Bring yourself back up to Warrior 2. As you inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, lower the arms. Bring those feet back to parallel. As you inhale, arms reach up. And as you exhale, hinge forward. Place the hands on the hips, press down through the feet, step the feet together, and stand at the top of the mat in Tadasana, mountain pose. As you inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging from those hips. Fingers come down to the ground or down to blocks. As you inhale, come halfway up to a flat back. And as you exhale, fold forward. Step your right foot back, followed by your left coming to plank. Now you can have those knees up or down in plank. If your knees are up, float forward to the tops of the toes. Make sure the inner elbows are looking at the space in front of you. And then start to bend those elbows towards the space behind you as you slowly lower down. Sweep the chest through the arms, rising to cobra pose. Relax the shoulders away from the ears here. Curl the toes under. Shift back to downward facing dog. Step the feet forward, coming to Uttanasana, forward fold. Press down through those feet. Your arms start to lift when they're in line with the ears. Use that core. Bring yourself all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, fold forward. Step those feet back to plank. Knees up or down. Hug the elbows into the body as you slowly lower for chaturanga. Sweep the chest through the arms. Rising Bhujangasana. Curl your toes under. Shift back and rest. So here you can take downward facing dog or child's pose, whichever feels restful to you. Now is a good time to come back to the breath and think about one thing that you're grateful for. Start to walk the feet forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Press down through those feet. Inhale, arms come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging from those hips. Inhale, halfway up, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Step back to plank. Slowly lower down, chaturanga. Sweep the chest through the arms, rising Bhujangasana. Curl the toes under, shift back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Step the feet forward, Uttanasana. Press down through those feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Step back to plank. Slowly lower down, chaturanga. Sweep the chest through the arms, rising Bhujangasana. Curl the toes under. Shift back and rest. Again, down dog or child's pose, your choice here. Come back to that breath. Practice gratitude. So thankful for all the healthcare workers putting their lives on the line to help others. So grateful for all of the teachers working to educate our children as they're home with their own children. Grateful for all of my students for helping me feel connected. Step those feet forward. Uttanasana. Press down through those feet. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold, step back to plank. Slowly lower down. Chaturanga. Sweep the chest through the arms, rising Bhujangasana. So we're going to hold Bhujangasana here. Relax the shoulders away from your ears. Draw that navel in towards your spine. Focus on your breath. Curl the toes under. Shift back, down dog. Sweep the right leg out behind you and bend that right knee. Start to make some nice big circles with the right knee. So you're just moving the femur and the hip socket here. Reverse the direction of that rotation. Lower the right foot. Sweep that left leg out behind you. Bend the knee. Start to make some nice big circles. And reverse the direction. Let that left leg lower. Hang out here while I avoid a wardrobe malfunction for a second. Start to bend those knees. Go back down into child's pose. As you inhale, come back up all fours. Curl the toes under, shift back, down dog. So we're going to move into one-legged pigeon pose. This is a big stretch for the glutes, the hips, one of my favorites. So from downward facing dog, sweep that right leg out behind you, bend the right knee. Take that right knee towards the right wrist. Right ankle towards the left wrist. Lower the shin to the mat. Lower the left knee, uncurl the toes. You can wedge something underneath that right hip there if you'd like. So we're going to walk our hands back in line with the hips. And then as you exhale, start to walk your hands forward. Coming down to your forearms, crossing the forearms in front of you and resting your forehead. So this is a big stretch. Bring your awareness to that right hip, right glute. And see if you can just let go. Relax. Come back up onto those forearms. And then place the hands right beneath your shoulders. Curl the toes under on the left foot. We're going to shift back to a three-legged dog. So you're going to send that right foot up towards the ceiling and then lower it to the ground. Sweep the left leg out behind you. Bend the knee. Take that left knee towards the left wrist. Left ankle towards the right wrist. Lower the shin. Lower the right knee, uncurl the toes. So you can wedge something underneath this left hip if you'd like. We'll walk our hands back in line with our hips. Navel is in, shoulder blades together and down the back. And then as you exhale, hinge forward, lowering the forearms to the mat, crossing the forearms in front of you, resting your forehead. Bringing the awareness now to that left hip, left glute, seeing if you can just relax and let go. Remember the balanced breath flowing in through the nose and out through the nose. If this pose feels kind of impossible to you today, keep practicing. This is a deep one. Bring your forearms back to the mat, and then take those hands right beneath your shoulders. Curl the toes under on the right foot. Let that knee float up off of the mat, and then you'll press back to a three-legged dog. Left foot towards the sky. Lower the foot. Step those feet forward, coming to Uttanasana. Forward fold. Press down through those feet. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, hands come to your heart. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Step back to plank once more. So we're just going to hold plank for a few moments. Knees can be down or up. Navel draws in towards your spine. Inner elbows look to the space in front of you. If your knees are up, float forward to the tops of the toes and then start to bend those elbows. Lower all the way down to the ground. Cross the forearms in front of you. Bend your knees and let those legs sway from side to side. Let the legs become still. Roll over onto your back and hug the knees into the chest. Lower the soles of the feet to the floor. Your feet are parallel to each other and they're just femur width apart. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh so you're in a figure 4 position. Take those hands around the left thigh and draw the legs into the chest. So I don't know why I do this, but this is a really good option if the one-legged pigeon isn't for you, and I should have told you that first. But this will get into that same spot, nice stretch. Breathe here. Keeping the right ankle over the left thigh, lower the left foot to the mat. Bring your arms by your sides, the palms face the floor. As you inhale, press down through that left foot, lift the hips. And then as you exhale, you'll lower the hips. So you're moving with your breath. Inhale, hips lift. Exhale, hips lower. Notice it takes a lot to keep that core stable here. Inhale up, exhale down. The next time you lower the hips, pause there, but keep the right ankle over the left thigh. Bring the arms out like a T, palms face the ceiling. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, begin to tip the legs to the left as you roll to the pinky toe side of that left foot. Inhale, come back up. And as you exhale, begin to tip those legs to the right as you roll to the big toe side of the left foot. Inhale back up and continue moving with the breath, just rolling from one side of the foot to the other. Feel free to close your eyes here. Think of something that you're grateful for. The next time the sole of the left foot is flat on your mat, pause there. Lower the right foot. Make any adjustments to your foundation here. And then you will cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Take the hands around that right thigh, draw the legs into the chest. You'll feel that nice stretch in that left hip, left glute. And then lower the right foot to the mat. Bring the arms by your sides, palms face the floor. As you inhale, you'll press down through that right foot, hips lift. And then as you exhale, hips lower. You're moving with your breath at your own pace. Inhale, hips lift. Exhale, hips lower. The next time you lower the hips, pause there. Keep that left ankle over the right thigh. Arms come back out like a T. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, begin to tip those legs to the right as you roll to the pinky toe side of the right foot. Inhale, coming back up. And then as you exhale, begin to tip those legs to the left as you roll to the big toe side of the right foot. Inhale back up, and then continue moving with your breath, rolling from one side of the foot to the other. Remember that the inhale and the exhale are equal. The next time the sole of that right foot is flat on the mat, pause there. Lower the left foot. Hug your knees into your chest. You can feel free to rock side to side here. Place the soles of both feet on the mat. Bring the arms by your sides, palms face the floor. As you inhale, press down through those feet, hips lift. As you exhale, they lower. Inhale, hips lift. Exhale, hips lower. One more time. Draw the knees into the chest. Keep the right hand on the right knee, the left hand on the left knee. As you inhale, the knees pull away from the chest as your arms straighten. And then as you exhale, pull those knees in. Inhale, knees pull away. Exhale, draw the knees in. Place the soles of the feet on the mat and let the soles of the feet come together as those knees open up out to the sides for Supta Baddha Konasana. We're going to practice dynamic Supta Baddha Konasana. I'll walk you through it. Basically, we're going to take 3 full breaths to bring our knees all the way up, and then we'll do it again. Your arms can be where they're comfortable. As you inhale, you're going to bring the knees up 1/3 of the way. Pause and exhale. On the second inhale, knees come up another third. Pause, exhale. And on the third inhale, knees come all the way up. And on the third exhale, soles of the feet come together, knees open up out to the sides. Inhale number 1, knees come up 1/3 of the way. Pause, exhale. Inhale number 2, come up another third. I start shaking here. Pause, exhale. Inhale number 3, knees come all the way up. Exhale number 3, knees open up out to the sides. Go ahead and do that 2 more times on your own. So it's 3 breaths to get all the way up. You may notice that your legs start shaking, and that's because we're using the inner thigh muscles that we just don't use very much. When you finish your second round, you can hug those knees into the chest. Once you hug the knees in, you can rock side to side if that feels good to you. And then press the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling, arms out like a T. Point those toes, flex the feet, point and flex. Draw the knees into the chest. Take your peace fingers of both hands, grasp the big toes. We're going to make a nice big V with the legs here. If you'd like to rock side to side, you can do that. Make sure you're breathing. Start to draw those legs together, arms come together. And then lower the legs down to the ground as the arms lower up overhead. Take a nice full body stretch here. Bend the knees, placing the soles of the feet on the mat as wide as your mat. And just let those knees sway side to side. Let the knees become still, and then let those knees fall in towards one another. Give yourself a moment here to come back to the breath. Think of one thing that you're grateful for. We're going to begin to transition into Shavasana, the last pose of our class. We'll be in Shavasana for 5 minutes today. And you'll notice I'm not playing music. I do like music when I teach. Some teachers think it's a distraction. But with the video and everything, I just thought it was better if I didn't try to compete with music, and there's also the trademark issue. So I encourage you to just put on some soft music in your own home if you'd like. So for Shavasana, go ahead and grab anything that you might need to be comfortable, whether it's socks, a sweatshirt, drink of water. And then once you have everything that you need, you'll just come to lay down on your back. Now, if laying on your back is uncomfortable, you can absolutely modify the pose. But for traditional Shavasana, the legs are extended out nice and long. The feet just flop open. Arms are by your sides, palms face the ceiling, and the arms are a few inches away from the body. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just let it all go. Relax the jaw by creating a space between the top and bottom rows of teeth. Let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Let your natural breath take over. Resist the urge to make subtle movements. Rest in Shavasana. Slowly start to deepen your breath, becoming aware of the room once again, becoming aware of your body. You can start to make any subtle movements that might feel good, like wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. You can rotate through the wrists and the ankles, turn that head gently from side to side, and stretch through the arms and legs like you're just waking up. Nice full body stretch. And then roll to the right side in the fetal position, and we'll stay there for a few breaths. Keeping your eyes closed if you'd like. Use those arms to bring yourself back up to a comfortable seated position. And bring the hands together at the heart in Anjali Mudra. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos into order, confusion into clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me this morning. May you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be free from suffering, may you have ease of well-being. Namaste. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day. Oh, but before I go, one last reminder that today's class, any donations brought in through PayPal or Venmo are being sent directly to the American Red Cross. And because people can watch this video later, I want to make sure that I'm very clear about the American Red Cross donations. So anything that I receive on today's date, which is the 4th, will be donated to the American Red Cross. So anything from April 4th, 2020 will be donated to the American Red Cross. PayPal is danaopal@gmail.com. Venmo is Dana-Opalinsky, or you can donate directly to the Red Cross. Thank you all so much. I did hear a little rumor that the Zoom is going to be requiring passwords starting tomorrow. I don't know if that's true, but it will be included in the email that I send out for the next class, which will be Tuesday at 10:30. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day.